Take two. Yeah, rolling. This is the 7 episodes, or possibly 6, of Alt Transformers Mush Season 2. I went through the short stories and put the short stories in terms of the short stories that were too small to be individual episodes, because we typically do an hour-long episode each, and combined them by their genre, such as Megatron episodes, or Optimus Prime episodes, or Beast Wars episodes, or Beast Wars reunion episode, or Ensemble Transformers episodes. Here we have Ensemble Insecticon episodes. It's a little weird. But hey, the whole series is weird, so maybe we'll do all 7. But yeah, these are the episodes. And here are the rejection pile. It's very small. The rejection pile. Also, some I didn't print at all because I knew I wasn't going to do Lord of the Flies meets the Transformers. I'm not doing that. Not doing Deal of the 24th Century where they meet Star Trek. Not doing that. Not doing Thunder Bitch. Sorry, we're not doing that one. Not doing The Borg meets the Transformers or Aliens meets the Transformers. Not doing that either. That would just be really, really hard to do and weird and couldn't pay much to it, really. Mark's Cards and I were discussing that last night, and I was like, yeah, how would you do that? Or the Macross thing that somebody wanted done. How am I going to do that? You got to do You Remember Love. We can't even do stop motion. How the hell are we going to do that? That's ridiculous. Okay, an episode that I did print was a Hound episode. Hound doing the Gorillas Power Glide in one of the Douglas Muth, Rob Jung episodes. Sunweaver is not going to be done. That's off the list. So if you were hoping for Sunweaver to be done, it ain't going to be done. Here we have a Getaway episode, in which the gag was that Getaway. It was a short story, I should say. It's not even a chapter. These are like maybe 12 pages each. These are short stories. That these others were a little longer, so they were like, But also, that was a Getaway episode. And here we have a 6-page one on Catharsis, which is Chris Meadows doing something. So we didn't have as much as we thought, really. Yeah, here we are on the set. I'm on the set of Season 2 here. It's a third the size. It's half the size of the originals, the first season. Because there aren't very much of the Mush episodes left. And this is the remaining ones. There were about 101 episodes, even the small ones. That includes the Adamicon and Kal Kat ones and Tim Cantrell ones. So in terms of the other people's stuff, it was about 65 episodes, 70 episodes. We whittled it all down to 18 last season. And this season is 7. Because we wanted to tell stories in the same theme and the same genres as the other. Yes, there will be Beast Wars. We're going to figure out how to do that. We can always cast other characters that look kind of like them. Yes, we are. And of course, since the Beast Wars continuity was really, it's kind of its own thing anyway, and it kind of ended in a story arc that came to a conclusion. Some of these reunion stories were written before that conclusion, in the same way that a lot of Trek fans wrote about Best of Both Worlds thinking Picard wasn't going to be around in Season 2, like 3 months later, but he was. So they had all these fanfics that didn't make sense, because suddenly they were like, oh, including one of ours. The fanfics that just, Picard came back, so what are you going to do about it? So there was these fanfics where they tried to bring the Transformers and Beast Wars together in a reunion special. Some elements of that became Transformers meets Robotech, Transtech, in which we did include a lot of the Beast Wars characters and did the Beast Wars reunion story. So it's already been done at least twice, just by us and other people. So doing it again, but this time it's a multiverse where you have the Space Bridge timeline, the Beast Wars timeline, the Bay timeline, and Prime timeline, the G1 Prime timeline, and all that other stuff going on, where you can just as easily Space Bridge to places that look like Beast Wars land and not actually affect the timeline at all. Yes, you can totally do that, or have sideways universes that are the whole season. Do that too. This is kind of obvious, though. Anyways, so yeah, it's like it's not really continuity. It's a parody show. It's not Transformers. It's not official. So therefore, it is a sideways universe. It's a multi-user shared hallucination. And then wondering if Kal Kat has written any other ones, or if he's going to put up any of his or Kal Kat stuff. As of this timeline, don't think so, unless because we've already done it. Space Bridge already did it. The other one already did it, so we've already done it. Be no reason to go back there and do it again twice or three times even. No reason to go back and do the older trans stuff, which is as unreadable as some of those other short stories that were ultimately rejected and not used. They were just like, yeah. It wasn't just the music; it was that they're unwatchable. You go back to those episodes and watch the original trans from way back that no one can ever see, on the original VHS stuff, and it's like, what was I doing? I was like filming robots just like in my room, no backgrounds, no sets, nothing, and Skyfire's like walking chunkily with an old ancient camera from like the Robotech era, and it's like, there's no way that's gonna look good, even if you redid it. And why would you? Transtech redid it, and it was fine. It was a 3.4 export ratio, blown up to 720, but it was 480 originally. But yeah, yeah. So that's fine. It's fine. And Space Bridge is 720, I believe. We were doing it at 720p back then. It's all Space Bridge and the Robotech and the Children's Shadow and all that. But the new one, this series, this post Space Bridge series, I think Children of the Shadow Returns might have been 1080. The Shadow Return, the final one, but they didn't have the software and the ability yet. Then we got it. So when we did this Alt Transformers Mush, it's 1080p. Yeah. Now everybody's up to 4K. We can't do that. The files would be way too big, and you'd be able to see like individual flaws in the toys, which you already can see in 1080. The Galvatron from the series has like stress marks across his chest just from being played with. A bunch of other ones too. That's the problem with the Beast Wars toys as well, is they did not hold up. They fell apart. So yeah, especially the ant guy. That guy really fell apart. He's like in pieces. He was a shelf warmer from back in the day. The shelf warmers more than meets the eye. Went to Target recently, and there's other shelf warmers. Seem to be a lot of those Bumblebee ones. The Bumblebee show. Oh, Cyberverse, yeah. But yeah, but they are coming out with some of our guys. That's cool. Yeah, because they like our show. So. Anyway, so yeah, but they'll have to pay homage to these characters. I mean, we have to have a update of WizKid. WizKid. It's to be called WizKid, and that's Ivy Bonleen, and it has to be called WizKid, and it's to look a little bit like the city speaker. Yeah, Red Wing. Windblade. Windblade. It has to look like her, but be a Seeker, but full scale, like Voyager Seeker. Also, we have to have Maxis Carta, of course. You know, they just reissue the. They can just reissue the Power of the Prime's Rodimus as Maxis Carta. I'd be okay with that. And they could reissue Dragon Optimus Prime from You're the Dragon as Dragon Optimus Prime. You know, studio series. Yeah, that'd be cool. With the trailer that he transforms into. Yeah, so they could do that. Also, they could have Night Racer, both blue form and black form. Black with the gold, or blue with the other. It could look a little bit like Bumblebee, but it's kind of more of a Corvette, more of a Corvette / Nissan, or the other version that's more of a Camaro / maybe a Oldsmobile SS kind of looking thing. Dropkick, for instance, looks kind of like her a little bit. That's a trans one. This is deep in the lore. Anyway, so this is behind the scenes of 7 episodes. I think I'm probably not doing that in Insecticon. I don't know about that one. But that was actually a Transtech one. It was Insecticon. So it was in the Transtech magazine. That was there because the name was interesting. He was Emun E Wolf. It was actually Alfreds, Jamal Alfreds. But yeah, I hope I didn't pronounce that right. Anyway, also, a lot of these short stories were Rob Powers and Rob Jung, and sprinkled throughout these are some of his short stories. So they're kind of like by theme, not necessarily by author this time. Because yeah, we don't know them really. Jung's short stories and Rob Powers' short stories. Also, although we did get something from Doug Month, who pointed out, by the way, Rob Jung is just Doug Month. It's the same guy. It's like your Kal Kat character is Silly Kelly. Same guy. Like, oh, okay. It's his stage name. All right. It's his pen name as Rob Jung. Okay. Well, yeah, cool. But yeah, I guess he changed his pen name later on because like after he got like kicked off one board, he went on to another one or something as another guy. I think he's probably a third guy out there. Well, a lot of those guys did that. Yeah, some of the other female names are out. Some of the lady names are also same thing. Is it's a stage name. If it sounds like a kind of an odd name, like Jiminy Christmas, it's a pen name. Yeah, for somebody else. Sonia Klassen is probably actually Blood Crow. Politically. Actually, she could be Carruthers or the other one. Actually, Carruthers is probably a pen name for the other one because they were really close to. Carruthers was really close to Ivy Bundling. I wonder if they either knew each other or they were each other or what. Also, Mark's Cards agrees on the premise. He hasn't seen the finale because he hasn't gotten through the whole series yet. But he agrees on the premise that the story. But he remembers Redemption. He read it, the original story, and he was like, oh yeah, that was definitely like a story about like the boyfriend turned out to be gay. That's totally what happened. You can tell in the story that's what happened because he liked it both ways. But no, the guy in the story was totally, which is fine. But in the '90s, it was like, oh my gosh, oh freaky, oh. In the '90s, it was like a little shocking, but not in 2020. It's like, yeah, we can totally tell from hindsight. Yeah, that character in that story, that character they were writing, he was totally gay, and that's the way it ended in the story. Actually, in the story, he was bi. He was like, oh, it ended a little different. He was bi. But he also told the other robot, he told the Whiz Kid robot, he tells her, well, she's bi too. It's like, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, oh my. Well, they're robots. The robot character was gay. We don't know if the boyfriend was. But the character, the way she was writing it, was like, yeah, the character. We don't know. Anyway, sorry.